365 Sports. Top 5 teams that make sense for the Big 12 right now. Now, look, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm taking out everybody in the Pac-12 because I don't think that that's realistic as we stand today. I'm taking out SMU and San Diego State because I am lumping them in with the Pac-12 today. So, in the comment section, if any of you or anybody wants to say, well, what about them? I will say, please encourage them to rewind to the very front of this where I say today. So
there are 5 teams?
Yeah.
I was going to say, who is in this list?
I had to really push it. Push it.
Not a part of the Pac-12.
Not a part of the Pac-12.
Not San Diego State.
And not USF, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, to show how expansion is going to be difficult. So,
man, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not just going west either. It's got to go east. So that's why if you're going to really expand to 16, you don't really have a lot of options if you take out all of those. Number 5, USF. Travel partner, more in the East Coast, a growing school, although not ready, really. They'd have to be pushed like Memphis has been pushed, like Boise State's been pushed, who are also on the list, by the way. But they're going to have to be pushed to get to that point where UCF was ready, USF is not. But that's the next most viable when you talk about viable candidates and people ready to go and what matches the Big 12, big market, a team that can grow, and a team that can build new facilities and do that, USF is certainly that. But not attractive, really, right now.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that they would be 7th in line behind the schools we've eliminated. So, you definitely place them behind the Pac schools. Maybe you'd have them ahead of SMU, but I don't even know about that. I mean, they're in that same pool of teams that the Big 12, talked to or, explored. Memphis, USF, obviously the 4 that are joining, and then SMU and all that. USF, they just don't seem to – I mean, the timing sucks for them. They had – timing in their favor years ago and didn't take advantage, and UCF just gained and UCF went left and USF just stayed going straight, and as a result they're probably going to find themselves on the outside looking in for the foreseeable future unless there's some life raft coming from the Big 12. But again, if I'm the Big 12, I'd have to be like a 24-team conference for USF to get an invite.
Yeah. Because
all those schools that you are saying aren't a part of this, it's 6 of them from the Pac-12 are getting an invite before USF does for me.
So, again, and this is kind of highlighting what is really out there when you eliminate that. Number 4, UNLV. And the reason I only have them at 4th is this is a school that can't get it together when it comes to realignment. They have almost everything else in their favor, especially when you base it on, what's a faster growing market than maybe even Houston? Well, Las Vegas. Las Vegas is exploding right now. Professional sports is about to have everything you want, but UNLV just can't get it all together to get themselves in that position. But they do have the market. They have the attractiveness. The problem is what also helps them, the city of Las Vegas, hurts them in that if any conference wanted to host anything there, Las Vegas would be like, yeah, sure, come on, we got it ready for you. We'll dust it off. That's why the Pac-12 is probably not that interested. They can just go there anyway. They don't have to they can go there anyway, do whatever they want, and they don't have to give UNLV any money. So why add them? But they do fit in that realm, and Phil Venzer, they're also kind of on this for you, buddy, but they've got to get themselves together administratively to point in that right direction. So again, I'm pushing outside the realm of what people would really want.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to them on being ranked in basketball for the first time in, was it 30 years?
Women's basketball.
Women's basketball, yes. Thank you for clarifying. But that was a cool headline I saw earlier today. But, I mean, that's obviously not going to get you a Big 12 invite. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they're not in Las Vegas, are we even mentioning this school at all?
No.
I mean, it's all about location, and
that's why Nevada's not on the list.
Right. I don't know what else, and I know that Phil or other Rebs fans can point out their this and that. That's all great, but you're not selling to me. So for me as just an outsider looking in, I'm if they weren't in Las Vegas, we'd probably not talking about them at all. And, I think there's the part, too, of, like, how many people in Las Vegas are even from Las Vegas? Like, how many people are in Las Vegas care about local Las Vegas sports, outside of the pro market? I don't know. Fast-rising city, fast-rising market, lots and lots of money. But I don't know, just the commitment and dedication and just the numbers don't seem to add up. I just feel like if they did, then there would be more of a real push and not just a couple people who listen to this show throwing them in the hat like with San Diego State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're not in the pack.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the pack flailing, and they're like, gun to their head, fine, we'll invite San Diego State. And they still haven't done it just yet,
Yeah.
UNLV's right there. No, let's go to Dallas and get SMU instead. Where is UNLV on their list? So that screams, something to me as well, is that just seems like it would be, if they were a strong brand in that market, that just seems like it would be a layup for the Pac-12, and instead it's not even right now on their itinerary, it appears.
Yeah. Number 3, and the only reason I put them at 3 is they're the most ready and likely is
like
to be
Dickey.
Boise State. Yeah, and Jeremiah, they're ready to go. Like, they're pretty much ready to go. They probably have to improve some of the basketball elements of this, but football-wise, they're ready to go. For, stadium-wise, they're ready to go. The other facilities that they need will come, from their alumni as soon as they would get that, like, invite and that inflection of cash. But Boise State, and so we know this is a good one. This is one that would add some value and add some excitement. But again, you're still talking about, a market in Boise, Idaho that's, not all that great. This is more of just a name than anything else.
Yeah.
And a program that's really been excellent, on down the line and repeatedly good.
I don't know that they add value.
Yeah.
I don't know that they do. I mean, now with a Boise, Idaho TV market, I don't really know how much that adds and really changes your TV deal. They were, again, one of those teams the Big 12 looked at and explored. They seemed like they'd be a logical place for the Pac-12 to go look. And do you sense anything on the Pac-12?
No.
Boise's none. Zero. And I know some of that's academics or whatever. Bring up the fundraising. I mean, they've been getting fundraising. Jeremiah Dickey's been getting that done. I saw, like, the other day they had, like, their 4th $1 million donation in the last year or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly, but they're fundraising pretty well. I don't know if they're big enough. I don't know if there's enough of a following. That Oklahoma win has served them well for like 20-plus years now. But outside of that, they're just consistent. But I don't know. I don't think that they're much of a draw or much of a pull. And again, if you're the Pac-12, like, it just seems like it would be so simple. Go get UNLV and San Diego State and Boise State, and you're off to the races. And they're like, we want one of those schools.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know if Boise's window, how long it was even ever open, but I don't know if it's even open right now. I just feel like that would have been a logical move for the Pac-12, but there just doesn't seem to be much interest in the Big 12. I guess in theory if they want to move west, but I just feel like you got to have more than just BYU and Boise if you really want to feel like you're conquering much of the West.
Number 2, Memphis. The announcement of the Liberty Bowl remodel makes them on the track to being ready. But again, they've got to be ready and they've got to kind of line things up. I think this is maybe the most outside of Vegas, the market that maybe fits the Big 12 the most comparatively. And then of course you throw in the how enthusiastic FedEx would be as maybe a corporate sponsor if they're home
why
school.
is USF behind UCF? What happened with USF?
Because they weren't ready.
Memphis is in that same, they
Yeah.
weren't ready. Even though they felt like they were, and maybe they had some T's crossed and I's dotted, their opportunity, there was a sliver, it went by.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that was confusing on the part of their media was when we were having these conversations like 2 years ago, was that showing interest is not an invitation.
Yeah.
The Big 12 showed interest in Memphis, explored even, but they didn't decide that it was the route that they wanted to go. They decided there were 4 better teams. Twice around, right, twice around, and probably going to do it a third time as well. So, if you're Memphis, sorry for you, but yeah, it seems like that window was kind of open there a couple of different times, and each time you just went and slammed it shut without realizing maybe what you were doing or what you were closing the door on. Because it's kind of hard to see them sneaking their way back in because, at best, they're not number one, and they may not even be number 2 or number 3, and they may not even be top 5 if you factor in the schools you actually aren't factoring into this list. So on this list, when you take away a bunch of the other better candidates, then yeah, they're maybe top 2 or top 3, but you need to be adding like this. It would turn into a 20-team league probably for Memphis to get the invite.
Yeah. And number 1, just because basketball's already set up, football's improving, they've been in a major conference before, UConn. It also adds, a segment of the Northeast you don't have in your footprint. Again, none of these schools, and I'll just say this, I'm not even going to expound on UConn. None of these schools really fit what they want to do. So really what you have to do is hope the Pac-12 falls apart, and I don't feel that's imminent.
Yeah, I'm not ready to read the last rites to the Pac-12. All I know as of today, a lot of people are starting to feel that way. But yeah, I mean, UConn, this would have to be like you'd have to grab Gonzaga in hoops, right? And then have UConn. And I don't know football-wise how that would really fit in. Yeah, it seems like a super long shot and super unlikely. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at the death of the Pac and then maybe 1 or 2 schools that are outside of that. But if you're not in the party right now, then yeah, it's going to take some major restructuring, of which we've already seen, for you to probably have an opportunity anytime soon.
UConn's a great media market. Obviously, we know their history, and they're themselves in position. They were a Power 5, and so